Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mona and I'm so glad you stopped by. On this channel, I share practical sewing tutorials from beginners to advanced, so be sure to subscribe and join the community. Today, we are going to learn how to create a structured female vest jacket with a shoulder dart. I hope you're excited. Let's get started. Went ahead to mark out all of our basic bodice measurements: our shoulder line, our bust point, our under bust line, our waistline, and also the full length of the jacket. Next, before marking out the neck depth of 3 by 3 inches, I would advise please you mark out 1 inch or 1.5 inch for a buttonhole allowance, because it's a shirt and we'll mark out about 1 inch or 1.5 inch for our buttonhole allowance. I did that as the video continues, but right now as I was marking it, I didn't remember it. So please, before marking out your shoulder line and your neck depth, make sure you mark out about 1 inch and 1.5 for the buttonhole allowance before taking your other basic bodice measurements. I took about 1.5 inch. I mark it all around from the bust point, under bust, down to the full length and also to the neck length. I mark about 1.5 inch and I made a straight line there. That's what I was saying, that before you mark out your other basic bodice measurements, your neck depth, your shoulder, make sure you mark about 1 inch or 1.5 and mark it out as our buttonhole allowance. And next, you're just going to continue with other basic bodice measurements. So after marking it out like this, I had to just adjust other measurements I took previously and remeasure it again. To determine our armhole curve, we're going to divide whatever we get there by 2. Then you mark it out just like this, and at that point you come out with about half of an inch like this. And at the line there, the chest line there, you're going to mark out your bust measurements divided by 4. Then you're going to mark it out and you're going to use your curve rule to make a curve just like this. After marking it out, next thing is to mark out our darts. Your bust points divided by 2. The bust what I'm using is about 8 inches, and 8 inches divided by 2 is about 4 inches. And I'm marking out 4 inches all around like this, from the bust point to the under bust to the waistline down to the full length, just as you see me doing like this. And next thing, at the shoulder line there, you want to divide whatever answer you get there at the shoulder line, divide it by 2, and you'll mark it out just like this. And next, after marking it out, you're going to use your ruler to connect it down to the bust points, just as you see me doing like this. And after that, at our waistline, we are going to come down to our waistline and go in by half of an inch, and on the other side you're going to mark in also half of an inch all around from the waist down to the full length, and you mark it out like this. And at the bust point, you want to come down with about half of an inch, and from that waistline you're going to connect it just the way as you see me doing like this. And you go up to the shoulder line and you're going to mark out about half of an inch, the same way you took at the waistline. You mark that same half of an inch and you connect it down to the bust points, just as you see me doing like this. If you are getting confused, just look at what I'm doing and just follow me step by step. After marking it out, this is how yours should be looking. And next thing is to just take our other basic bodice measurements, our bust measurements, and then you come down to your waistline. Don't forget to add about 1 inch for your dart, and also for the full length you are going to divide your hip measurements by 4, and don't forget to add 1 inch. And also the bust part, divide your bust measurements by 4 and add about 1 inches and connect all lines, as you see me doing like this. Next, at the full length, you want to go up with about 4 inches, then or 3.5 inch. Then you mark it out like this. Then use your curve rule to make a slant line meeting the front part of your dress like this. And at the front part where our buttonhole is, you want to go up with about, from the waistline you want to come down with about 5 inches or 4 inches. Then you go in with about 1.5 inch. Then you make a slant line just like this. I later went up with about 4 inches from the waistline. I came down with about 4 inches. Then I make a slant line just like this, but at the center I went in with about 1.5 inch to have that opening effect. And we want to go to our bust point to let's mark out our bust. That I came down with about 1 inch, then I make a slant line meeting the bust point like this, and that's all for the front part. Let's cut it out. And when cutting out your bust dart, you don't have to cut it all out. You just have to cut it out and leave a little space. Then you're going to place it out like this. Use your self tape to join it, and basically that's all for the front pattern. In drafting for the back, it's just basically the same way we did for the front. The only measurements we are using at the back is our shoulder line, our bust line, our waist, and also the full length. Next, and also the neck depth of our back is about 3 inches, and we came down with about 1.5 inches. Next, our shoulder line of 14 inches divided by 2 is about 7 inches. Then you come down from that your shoulder line about 1 inch, you make a slant line. Next thing is to determine our armhole curve. You come down with about 7 inches, make a straight line like this, and don't forget to divide that 7 inches by 2, go in by 1/2 inch, mark your bust line, your bust measurement, then you use your curve rule to make a curve. Like I said, it's basically the same way we did at the front. That's what we are going to do at the back, but the only difference is that we don't have bust at our back, so we are just only using our shoulder, bust point, waist, and our full length. So next thing is to mark out our darts. At the front you took about 4 inches, at the back you're still also going to take the same 4 inches from the bust point, the waist down to the full length. Then you connect it out like this, and at the shoulder line you want to divide it by 2. Whatever you have there, you divide it by 2. Use your ruler to connect it down to the bust points just like this. Next thing, at our waist line we want to go in with about 1/2 inch, basically the same way we did at the front. At the down part we go in about 1/2 inch, then we make a straight line like this. You just want to connect it down to the bust point like this, and at the shoulder line you want to go in with about 1/2 inch, and next is to just connect it to the bust point just like this, and the bust will connect it down to the shoulder line just like this, and that's all for it. Next, you just take our basic bodice measurement, and don't forget to add 1 inch all around. The full length, you want to go up with the same measurement you took at the front, or you can just use your front to just place it. And make sure that when doing the back, if you notice the back will not have a V, so you want to place your ruler, and also at the front you want to come up with about 2 inches or 3 inches so that it will sit on our bum. And that's all for the back part. And now let's cut it out. For cutting both the front and the back part, and we're going to end here for today. Next week we are going to upload the sewing part. If you find this tutorial helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And this is the after result of it, and see you in my next one. Bye.